Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Between Sessions with Berries. We have a very interesting guest today, Adam Robin. He is not a therapist, but he has a very cool, interesting background. I'd love, Adam, if you'd introduce yourself in a second. Not a therapist, but in this world of like private practice building and business building and hiring virtual assistants and all of that stuff. So I'd love if we could just like dig in, have you introduce yourself, and then let's talk about all the things you do and maybe give some helpful tips and strategies to somebody listening that's maybe brand new, building a practice or a group practice, and also exploring that world of hiring. And when do I start to hire people and bring them in to help me with this process in this business that I'm doing?
Hey, how are you guys?
Glad to have you.
Well, I'm going to be as helpful as I possibly can. My name's Adam. I'm pretty obsessed with just like helping private practice owners just win the
Love
game.
that.
I love the idea of entrepreneurship in healthcare. I feel like it's desperately needed. I'm a physical therapist. I started my private
Okay.
practice in 2019. I started, and my business plan was work as many hours as it took. And
Yeah.
and also,
That was mine too.
yeah, that was my business plan. And then also treat my patients better than anybody in the world. Like just help them feel like they're the most important person in the room. That was it. And that strategy worked for about a year and a half, 2 years. I basically ran out of time. I ran out of energy. I ran out of skills, and
Yeah.
I became pretty consumed by the business. Like the operational and administrative demands of the business bled into my personal life and basically beat me down into smithereens.
Yeah.
I got to a place, I guess, probably mid 2020 where I was contemplating just shutting it down, like shutting down the doors and figuring something else out. But I ended up hiring a business coach. I was scared to death, completely terrified, because I was like, what is this thing? Like I never even heard of that. Like, what does a business coach even do? And
Yeah.
I hired this guy named Nathan Shields. He's now one of my partners. My whole world changed. Like everything changed.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I realized that I was the problem. Like I was the reason why I was stuck, and I had to learn new strategies and new ways to solve problems. Had to learn some new skills, and through that, I was able to scale up my practice. We now have three clinics, and I own a coaching
Wow.
company, and I own a couple other companies. And I'm just really obsessed with helping
Amazing.
people like along their entrepreneur journey.
When you say I was the problem, let's talk about
Okay.
that because I think I think that would help people a lot. I think we all get in our own way a lot of times, and the burnout's real, especially when you're a business owner or somebody like me. I'm like a multi-passionate entrepreneur. I've got all these businesses. I've got a new idea every
Mm,
day. It's so easy for me to wake up and start working and working till I go to bed and then do the same thing again the next day. So I'd love to just talk about I was the problem. What was the problem? How'd you fix it? I guess this coach helped you fix it, and now you're teaching other people how to do the same thing. So I'd love to talk about that.
Well, the greatest reward I've ever experienced through entrepreneurship is the personal growth and development that I've had.
Mm,
It's a very
love that.
personal journey, because nothing in your business will work until you do,
Hmm.
right? We're much more robotic than we think we are. Right? Like,
Mm.
and you know, you're in the psychology space, right? Like like
Yeah.
we understand that like we're very programmed in the way we behave and the emotions that creep up during certain stimulus, and how those
Hmm.
emotions affect us and affect our decision making processes, especially when we run out of coping skills or strategies to solve the problems effectively, like outside of the
Yes.
emotional world.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so the problem with running a business is it's so demanding on us because there's such a
Hmm.
steep learning curve that it squeezes us very tightly. And those
Yeah.
emotional triggers typically pop up a lot. And we get in
Hmm.
these self sabotaging patterns that impact our ability to move forward. Everyone's a little different, right? So some people like me, like I'm a little bit more anxious. I'll just do it myself mentality, right? Right.
Yeah. Oh my.
I'll just do it myself mentality. I'll just go, 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 go. And I get kind of like
Yeah.
reactive. And some
Yeah.
people they shut down and they become more of the procrastinator. Wherever your saboteur
Hmm.
is, it's going to come out, right? And so your ability to,
Yeah.
I guess, my ability to learn a little bit more about myself and what my triggers were, adopt new skills and patterns of problem solving was probably the biggest thing that helped me like
Yeah.
crawl out of the hole.
So what are the patterns you see with people you work with now? Is it like for me, for example, right? I'm a micromanager.
Mm.
I'm a
Yeah, me too.
perfectionist. I will give a task to somebody that I've hired and then come right back in and try to fix it or do it different because I do it better. In my mind, I do it better, which is not true in a lot of cases. So are there like particular like pattern sets that you see with people that you're working with
Mhm.
that maybe somebody listening could identify in themselves?
Fear is probably the biggest one. It's not
Mm,
always the
okay.
case, but fear, and forgive me because I know there's a lot of mental health professionals on this, and I'm gonna sound like an idiot talking about emotions.
It's okay.
I'm just talking
Yeah,
them
it's all
through
right.
the lens of how I experience them, right?
Mhm.
So fear, I see a lot of fear. Like, so we get hesitant around fear and pushing through that discomfort, and that causes us to either procrastinate or stall or just work harder or whatever that is. So fear is a big
Yeah.
one.
Mhm.
Number two, and I'm not listing these in any particular order, but number two is I'll just do it myself. That's
Mhm.
huge. And there's different reasons why we typically will do that. Sometimes it's I don't know how to delegate. I don't know how to create clarity and structure and
Mhm.
insert that into another human's brain. I don't know that
Yes.
cycle. So there's a
Yeah.
skill component to that, but there's also a I don't want to burden anybody else
Mhm.
component. Like if I
Yeah.
ask them to do that, well, that wouldn't be fair. And so there's those like I don't want to burden the other
Oh my
person
God.
fear.
I have all of these.
I've got
Yeah.
that too, right?
Right, right.
Or like because it's like, well, am I asking too much if I ask them to do that? Well, how do I hold them
Yeah.
accountable? I got to be mean, all those things. And then I would say just random. The third one is just like hesitation around spending money is a big one. My
Yep.
favorite quote, if you guys know who haven't heard of James Wedmore, he's got a podcast called Mind Your
Yeah.
Business Podcast. Really great podcast. But he says, if you value your money more than your time, you'll have neither. But if you value
Mm,
your time more than you have money, you'll have both. So
that's
flipping the
awesome.
mindset of like, I don't need to hold on to my money and grip it. Like I need to actually spend it in ways that gives me back my time so that I can continue to grow. And when you play that game, it's better because you actually give yourself space to actually crawl out of the hole. So those are the three that
Mhm.
kind of come to mind.
I love it. So can we talk about how we break through these?
Sure, let's go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be super helpful because I obviously relate to everything you said, and I've been there, done that, and still struggle with those
Totally.
to this day. So maybe it'd be helpful to somebody else listening, like the fear piece, right? I can't do it.
Mm,
I'm not, I guess I'm not smart enough, imposter syndrome, I'm going to fail. All of that stuff comes up when I hear you say that. So is there a mindset hack or something that
man.
helped you get through that part of it that could help the listeners?
One of the things is courage. You're going to have to decide that you want to be a courageous person. And courage doesn't mean it's not the absence of fear, but it's the willingness to move through it despite fear being present. So just acknowledge that you have to be courageous. And nobody's going to come and do that for you as the CEO. Like you have to decide to wear that crown and take ownership of it. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
that's number one.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about fear is the reason why a lot of people, in my opinion, why I feel fear is because I'm losing control over something. And I know that there is a way to regain control. I just don't know how. Does that make sense?
Mm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
could have some
Absolutely.
control over the situation. I just don't know how yet. And that
Yeah.
puts me in a vulnerable state of I'm not sure how to handle this. But the reason why most people feel fear in business is because they're trying to go to a place they've never been. Does that make sense?
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Like the
Right.
unknown,
The unknown,
walking into
right?
the
Like you have to
unknown.
hire these
Yeah. What's
people.
going to
Like
happen? Am I going to fail?
I
Yeah.
know a big
Hmm.
thing in healthcare and the mental health space is like 1099. Everybody wants to do the 1099 thing. It's like, I got to hire a W-2 person. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like that's a big
For
topic.
real.
But it's like, yeah, like you can do it. Like, let's do it. Like you could hire a W-2
Yeah.
person. But I've never done that. So I'm scared.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
you can't really see what is possible because you've never been there. And in my
Hmm.
opinion, the best way to feel like you're ready to move in that direction is to surround yourself with people who have been there, right? Because they can speak possibility
Yeah.
into you and they can say like, well, what if you
Mm.
were thinking about this a little differently? Let me share something that might interest you. Let me tell you what I see, right? And when you can have more
Yeah.
conversations like that, you can kind of start like reshifting what you see as possible. And I think that helps you kind of
Hmm.
overcome fear.
Amazing. And then the other things that you mentioned, fear, what was the other?
I'll just do it myself.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That is the bane of my existence. So I know how I've kind of gotten around it, but I'd love to hear like what helped you like get out of that mindset. I'm just going to do it myself because one, I'm a quick start,
Yeah.
right? So I have an idea and then I immediately feel like I need to implement in the next 24 hours or I'm just going to explode. So then I have a whole team and I'm like, "Hey, can we do this new freebie or this new landing page?" And they're like, "Wait, we've got like 10 other
Can we
things that
calm down?
you've already told me to do." So how do you work around that? What's your suggestions?
Two things. Well, first, it's going to depend on why you're deciding to do it yourself. So,
Mm,
and
mm,
we'll use two
good,
examples.
good
One
point.
is because I can do it quicker than everybody else, which is
Mm-hmm.
hard because it's true, right? So,
Right.
and the other one is I don't want to burden someone. So let's
Yeah.
start
Right.
with the
Mm-hmm.
I just want to do it myself.
Okay.
Okay, when you back up, I like to use this framework. So if you can imagine, for those who are listening, there's this, we'll just call this. The vertical axis is speed of implementation and
Mm-hmm.
effectiveness, right? And on the horizontal axis is time. Okay. So if you do it yourself, you're going to get it done quicker,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that line is going to rise. But over time, if you decide to continue to do it yourself over and over and over and over and over, that line is going to gradually decline and you're going to become less
Yeah.
effective over time. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep. Mm-hmm.
you're choosing short-term gratification over long-term, the right thing to do, which is
Right.
nothing works when you decide the short-term gratification,
Right.
right?
Right.
And we call that the zone of
True.
addiction. We call
Mm,
that the zone of
yes.
addiction because you're
Mm,
addicted to the short-term gratification of doing it yourself,
right.
right? You're addicted to that
Yep.
dopamine hit or whatever it is that's triggering your desire to do that. Now, if you decide to delegate, you're going to have to learn a new skill. They're going to have to learn a new skill. You're going to learn how to communicate it. And
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be misunderstanding. And you're going to go back and re-communicate it. Right. So the effectiveness is low in the beginning.
Yeah.
So you're like, this is
Yes.
costing me time, money, and energy.
This sucks. I'm
You know what I
gonna
mean?
train them and all this stuff. Yeah.
But the long-term game is
Yeah.
way more effective. So if you can delay gratification for a year, you can change your business. You can
Mm.
change your life.
Wow.
If you can delay
Yeah.
gratification for 10 years, you could change the world. Just understanding that framework and deciding that I'm going to try to live by that principle is really helpful for me. It's
Yeah.
really about overcoming that addictive thing and
Mm-hmm.
deciding to do the hard thing. So that's the
Yeah,
first
because
journey.
oftentimes when I think I'm doing it, I can do it better. It actually screws up my funnel, or then I didn't communicate clearly, and they're like, "Where did this thing come from?" You know, and I'm like, "Well, I did it over the weekend because it causes more problems in the long run.
It
Really, if I
causes
could
way
delay
more problems,
gratification, like you said."
especially because now the next time you have to do it, nobody on your team knows how to do it.
Exactly.
Nope.
Yep.
And now you're buried in it. And guess what? There's a new problem that you got to solve. And now you don't have the bandwidth to solve it. And now
Mm-hmm.
everyone, and guess
Yep.
what? You're the bottleneck, right? It's
Yeah.
like the longer you hold on to the
Exactly.
thing, the bigger the bottleneck you become,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm.
Learning how to delegate effectively is huge. The other thing, can we touch on the other one real quick?
Yes,
The
please.
other one is I don't want to burden the other person because they're already busy.
Mm-hmm.
They're already
Exactly.
busy and
Oh
it's
my
going to be
gosh,
stressful for
you're
them
in
too.
my brain.
And
Yeah.
I just want to take care of them. I could be wrong, but I get over this a lot with two things. Number one, self-worth, right? Like you deserve to have the bandwidth, right? You deserve to have the freedom on your schedule to do the thing. So I think self-worth is really, really important in that. And then also reframing what challenge means. So we always think that like challenging people is a bad thing. It's a negative thing. But in my opinion, great CEOs find that perfect balance between challenge and support, right? So one of my core values in my clinics is high challenge, high support. We challenge you more than you've ever been challenged. We support you more than you've ever been supported, right? And when we could create that dynamic of like, we're going to push you to the limits. And we're going to ask you to do things that are really hard. And we're going to support the heck out of you. And that's how you're going to grow. And that's how we're going to be able to provide you a future, because we're going to build it together. Right? So embracing that culture of challenge and believing that you deserve that is how you kind of you slowly start to build a culture of performance.
That's so helpful. So let's say you get past these mindsets. Somebody's listening to you today and they're like, okay, I really need to follow his advice here with this stuff because I'm doing a lot of this, falling into this trap. How do you then step outside of that box and then decide I'm going to hire, I'm going to delegate? How do you find the right people to hire? And how do you know when it's time to delegate versus doing it yourself?
So I'm going to throw a book for you guys to read.
Okay.
It's called Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell.
Okay.
Transformed my life. It's a very good read. Like, it's like written in like 5th grade reading level, like super easy to read. You can knock it out in a weekend.
That's
but
good.
I would start with that book. This is how I like to think about it. The thing, really you have to ask yourself, what is the thing that's going to give me the biggest ROI? Return on investment. Typically, the thing that's going to give you and your business the biggest ROI is the thing that's bogging you down the most. And the thing that's causing you the most emotional pain. When our schedule's empty, life is good.
Yeah, I love it. I have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. When Tuesday rolls around, I'm like, oh, why am I working on Tuesdays? Yeah.
Life's good, right?
Listen,
we're getting yoga in. We're like doing some workouts.
Yep.
You know, we're going to stay a little late with the kids. Like, everything's good. But then when that schedule gets packed and you start having to sacrifice things that really matter to you, and you don't have the luxury of thinking about things, right? You start to feel Fred, right? Fred the anxiety guy. He comes in and he's like, hey, buddy, I'm feeling squeezed. So the pain that you're feeling is the universe telling you that it's time to let go of something. Right? Then it's about deciding what that is. Right? So, like, here's an idea. Go back and go back for the last like week or two and make a list. Make a list of all the things that you're spending your time doing. Look at your calendar, look at your emails, look at your to-dos, look at your sticky notes, pull them all out and make this huge list. And then take that list and then split it into two. One's going to be your high energy list, which is going to be the things that you love doing, that light you up, and that you know that if you got really good at those things, you would create a transformative difference for your company and for the lives of the people that are on your team. If you became world class, right? And then it's all the low energy stuff, which is, these are the things that are bogging me down and not allowing me to get to the thing that matters.
Exactly.
And so then the next step is, okay, now you've decided what those things are. Now it's like, there's your job description, right? Package it up, give it a title, and maybe it's an admin, marketing assistant, whatever it is that's bogging you down in that season of life. And now it's like, find the person, pay them, get it off your plate, and the space on your calendar is the thing that allows you to grow into the next thing.
Yes, or not put anything else in there and go to
yoga.
Or
not, right? Or whatever. If you're a crazy entrepreneur like me, you always want to grow. But if you just want more work-life balance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's how you do it.
I love that. How do you find the right person to hire?
Hire for personality, train for skill. And when I say personality, I really mean value alignment. Core values. You guys ever talk about core values and stuff like that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So core values, defining who you are and what you believe in and what you stand for, what you're willing to fight for, what you're willing to stand against, and what you're willing to sacrifice. Right? Does that make sense? Because let's just use a core value of like integrity, right? I would assume like most people, like, integrity is important to pretty much everyone, right?
I would say.
Right?
Yeah.
But not everyone has that as their top 5. Maybe it's number 6 or 7 for some people. Maybe commitment is more important than integrity to some people, or vice versa, right? vice versa, right?
Yeah.
Maybe accountability is more important than integrity. So that
Mm-hmm.
means they are willing to sacrifice their integrity for the core thing. Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Mm. Yeah,
And that
absolutely.
might not be a deal breaker for you if
Right.
that aligns, if that's not in alignment with what your core values are. So the core values are the things that you really can't be flexible with these, right?
Right.
So you're defining those
Yeah.
things, and then you're finding the
Mm-hmm.
people who align with the things you believe in. And your interview
Right.
questions are around the values that you have.
And we talk a lot about tech. I can already imagine like using AI or something to help you like identify your core values and then make
100%.
these interview questions. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I had an
Yeah.
interview, like we did a coaching call with our clients not too long ago, and we literally talked about ChatGPT. I'm not a tech person like you, but I love me some ChatGPT.
Yeah, me too. Oh
Me and
my gosh.
ChatGPT, we got a great relationship.
Yeah.
But like, I'll hit record and just be like, "Listen, ChatGPT,
Hmm.
like, I'm trying to figure out this thing,
Here's what's going on.
right?" And
Yeah.
I'll talk
Yeah.
to it like I'm talking to my mom, you know? And I'll
Yeah. I
say,
love it.
what a great thing to sit down and just be like, "Listen, I'm trying to figure out who I am as a person. I'm trying to figure out what I really believe in.
Mm-hmm.
These are the things that really make me happy. These are the things that really make me sad. These are the things that make me angry. When I see this type of behavior, it really frustrates me. When I see this type of behavior, it makes me really proud. Those are all related to your values, right? Can you
Yep.
help me figure out what my core values are?" Beep,
Mm.
enter. It's like so easy, right?
Yeah. It's like, oh, those are my core values. I never even
Yeah.
realized it.
So
Yeah.
can you help me? Okay, next question. Can you help me generate like the top 10 interview based questions that I can ask on my next hire
Hmm.
that are around these core values? Yeah.
Amazing. So, how do we find people to hire?
Okay, so now we're in
Tell
the
us.
recruiting world now, right?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
recruiting is one of the things that I'm extremely passionate about. I'm going to be giving a lecture at the end of the month, a big talk at the Florida Physical Therapy Association. It's a 2-hour lecture on recruiting,
Awesome. Wow.
and it's a challenge. But it also
Mm-hmm.
depends. I mean, I guess it's just going to depend on the types of people you're trying to hire, right? In healthcare
Yeah.
practices, there's really two classifications. There's going to be your clinical team, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be your administrative team,
Right.
pretty much, right?
Right. Right.
So with
Mm-hmm.
administrative people, they're typically easier to find people who are willing to have an enrollment or an employee conversation with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's easy to generate leads, if that makes sense, right? If you go on Indeed, for an
Yeah.
example, and you type in, "I need a front office admin person," you're going
Right.
to get 500 people apply for it.
It's hard to choose.
It's hard to
Yeah. Uh-huh.
choose. That is different than if I need to hire a clinician. Those are hard to find. With the admin team, it's more of a filtering game. With the clinical team, it's more of a finding game.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about the filtering game, very
Yeah.
simply, all you need to do is just increase the barrier to application. If your Indeed ad says, "Click this link and we'll call you," you're going to get some clicks. But if it says, "Click
Yeah.
this link, fill out this form, submit a 90-second video introduction of yourself, send an email with the subject line, 'ready to work,' and there's going to be a lot less people who are willing to pay attention to the details and get all of those things right. It's not going to be 500. It's going to be
Yeah.
5, right?
Exactly. Oh, so
So then you
smart.
could filter
Yeah.
those
Mm-hmm.
500 down to 5 without because you're only looking for the email at that point.
Yeah. I don't even want you. You're not detail oriented and willing to go the extra mile.
Correct.
So it's not the values I would appreciate in an admin assistant or somebody like
Right.
that. Mm-hmm.
Right. We're not looking for people who are just like
Yeah.
blanketly sending resumes on the internet. So you get it down to 5, and then you conduct your interview. "Hey, let me tell you a little bit about who we are, what we believe in. We believe in integrity, and this is why. This is what it means to me. Tell me about your beliefs on integrity." Now, if you're looking for clinicians, you got to be a headhunter.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
People don't like that, right?
Different mindset. Yeah.
I would say this is where one of the greatest displays of leadership, in my opinion, is your ability to really know who you are and to have
Yeah.
language that describes that, i.e., your core values, and to be
Right.
willing to tell the world about it unapologetically. Adam and I
Absolutely.
believe in commitment, gratitude, accountability, and this is what I believe in. And you know what? Like, not everybody's going to align with me, but like, I'm looking for the people who really want to be a part of what we're doing. So
Mm-hmm.
having a
Mm-hmm.
bold belief.
Like the mission
Yeah.
statement of the practice.
So like the
Yeah.
guy that
Right.
comes to mind for me is Martin Luther King Jr. He's always the guy. Like he
Mm-hmm.
created this movement through his commitment to his identity. So
Love
I would
that.
say if you can really get clear on who you are, what you stand for, and get really excited about it and start
Mm-hmm.
telling the world about it, like Martin Luther King did, you will probably naturally attract the right people more regularly to you. But a lot of times we're not clear on
Amazing.
who we are. We're definitely not excited about it. And we're not telling the world about it. So nobody knows we exist.
The candidates don't even know if they align with you if
Correct.
you're not putting your authentic self out there from the beginning,
Correct.
right? Like what kind of culture and environment am I stepping into? They wouldn't even know if you're not fully like enthusiastic about
Yeah.
it, right?
So I'd say that's where I'd
Mm,
start. I start there. If you find
okay.
that, then once you get excited about your message, then it becomes easy to talk about, right? It becomes like,
Yeah.
because it's you, it's purely you, right? You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's
You can
nothing,
talk all day.
right? Like I'm just being me. So then you could just
Yeah.
put it in your job
Yeah.
ads, get on Facebook, talk to people, go to church, talk to your friends. Like, this is what I'm talking about. And you just tell the world about it. And then the right people are going to find you.
Hmm. You're going to
That's
attract
right.
people like that.
That's
Mhm.
right.
That's amazing. What do you do? How do you help people? I mean, we've just talked about a ton of things, but if somebody like me, maybe I'm wanting to start a private practice or a group practice or just that business model, I come to you. How do you help me?
So remember that guy, Nathan, I told you about? So I worked with him for 6 months, transformed my life. And then from there, I worked with another coach and then another coach and then another coach. And then I still work with coaches today. And
Hmm.
so I basically, I'm just obsessed with entrepreneurship. Like it's like really my
Yeah.
thing. Like it's embarrassing to think about.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is I put a lot of energy into this and I put
Mm-hmm.
basically taken everything that I've learned and put it into a program.
Nice.
And it's called our CEO Accelerator, and it's for healthcare entrepreneurs and practice owners. And what we help people do is help them transition from that clinician, overwhelmed entrepreneur, stuck, overwhelmed, stagnant, not fulfilled in their business, to empowered
Hmm.
CEO with the skills, the mindset and leadership skills that they need to move forward. So they come into the
Amazing.
program, we teach them all the systems, we teach them everything that we know, we give them the blueprint, we plug them into a really ambitious entrepreneur group of people. We meet with them in person every quarter. We do all kinds of fun stuff, and then
Nice.
we assign a one-on-one coach that helps them put together a strategic plan over the course of a year, and we help them grow their business. That's a little bit about
Amazing.
the coaching company. In addition, we also have a virtual assistant staffing agency because the
Amazing.
hardest part about growing a business is the administrative burden. It's the hardest part.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Agreed.
so we're
Mm-hmm.
trying to find affordable, like AI and tech. That's another, right?
Mm-hmm.
Affordable
Yeah.
solutions for owners to manage the admin and the operations so that they can have control of their time so that they can grow their business without breaking the bank,
Right.
right?
Yeah. I like
We
that. That's
staff the
important.
Filipinos and we help with these Filipino workers, and they're just like world class
Hmm.
healthcare led workers who can help you with all the insurance stuff and the credentialing and the billing and the all that stuff that we get bogged down in.
Amazing. Where do we find you?
You can find it on their website. It's ppoclub.com. It's the Private Practice Owners Club. Two P's and an O. Find us on Facebook.
Hmm.
You can check us out. We have a really cool group of entrepreneurs in our Facebook group, the Private Practice Owners Club. You can always shoot me an email, adam@ppoclub.com. We got a bunch of free stuff. So if you can go to our resource page on our website, we've got like how to start a practice blueprint, how to measure your stats, an entire manual on how to build out everything in your business. So like we've got a lot of free stuff that you guys can engage in if it's useful for you.
That's amazing. I'm sure it is. Definitely. And then the virtual assistant company, that's on there too. If somebody wanted to hire through your
Different
company.
company, Inbox Zero
Okay.
VA. Inbox Zero
Okay.
VA. Check that out.
Nice name.
If you want free stuff there, if you work with an agency or if you work with a different agency, there's also a checklist that you can download. It's a complete checklist on how to hire a virtual assistant, whether you want to do it by yourself or you want to work through an agency like ours.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna go check it out. I'm looking. So, what kind of VAs do you have? I'm just curious now
Yeah.
because I need somebody that does ads, meta ads. Do you have anybody like that?
Um, so not that's one so when you start getting into
Okay.
ads, it's a very niche skill. So let's talk about really briefly like the types
Yeah,
of things
that's a
that
good
you
topic.
should
Yeah.
delegate to a VA and the types of things that you shouldn't. Usually the
All right,
types of
let's talk
things are
about
going to
that.
be more
Yeah.
repetitive in nature, more backed by like some really strong systems, more
Hmm.
checklist style things. But if there are things that require like executive
Yeah.
functioning and brand management and ad strategy, I would
Yeah. Hmm.
probably hire a professional for that.
That makes
But
sense. That actually makes a lot of
but they can
sense,
do
right?
like graphic design and help you post and help you build a calendar. But you
Nice.
still need to be the creative genius behind the method, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The most common areas that practice owners need help are front desk management, answering
Hmm.
calls, scheduling. We even have a kiosk that we can put in if you want a kiosk. Verifying insurance. If you're in network with insurance, it's a burden. Submitting authorization and managing your denial rates. Because if your denial rates are
Mm.
above 4%, then you're losing money, right? And we want to make sure that we're
Yeah.
working those denials, submitting claims to the insurance, getting you credentialed with insurances, things like that. That's usually the most common tasks. Aside from that, it would be social media management. We have some executive assistants for entrepreneurs who need like a personal assistant. And then our
Nice.
last group is recruiting. We have a recruiting system that we can help you with as well.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Thank you
We got a
so
lot of
much.
stuff.
This has been super helpful. Yeah, it's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Super helpful. Thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
today.
absolutely. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me. I really appreciate it.
And anybody listening, of course, we'll put all these resources down in the show notes so you can check Adam out and take advantage of his services and his freebies that he mentioned. Thank you, Adam. Thanks for coming
Thank you so
today.
much, Kim.